Great stuff so far. Lots of good takeaways. Now, let's head into the world of SecOps. Hey everyone, I'm Shoaib Mohammed Shahpuri, a technical solutions architect based in Bellevue, Washington. I recently transitioned into a SecOps focused role where I design technical learning paths that help teams build real world skills in threat detection and incident response. One of my specialities is creating persona based, scenario driven content, the kind that mirrors real world roles and challenges. So learners don't just click through the slides, they experience the job. Before this, I specialized in cybersecurity, API security, and F5 application delivery with deep roots in automation and route switch. I have worked as a professional services engineer, fixing client issues on the fly, and as a command center architect, leading PS deployments and handling those late night escalations. I am big on the details, whether it's building realistic lab simulations, mapping behaviors to alerts, or crafting narratives that help engineers think like analysts. My goal is to bridge the gap between the theory and the hands on confidence. So outside of work, cricket's my jam, still chasing that perfect innings in local leagues. I have also got a thrill-seeking side to me, skydiving from the 10,000 feet, unreal, right? And when I need to reset, I head into the wild, hiking, camping, just peace and fresh air. That's how I recharge. All right, that's been nutshell. Let's dive into the threat detection and incident response learning series. Let's quickly look at the bigger picture. So, why are we building this learning path? Today's SOC environments are fast paced and high stakes. Analysts are not just responding to alerts, they are expected to think critically, connect the dots quickly, and act with confidence. This learning path is about helping them build that capability step by step. What are we building? A three-part persona-based learning series that reflects the real journey of a SOC analyst, which starts with the fundamentals, focused on alert triage and detection basics, then moves into intermediate, where learners act as tier 2 responders, and finally, an advanced track simulating more complex attack scenarios and response workflows. How are we doing this? Through articles, videos, and hands-on labs, using real tools like CrowdStrike Falcon for XDR and SOAR, and Security Onion for network-based detections. Each lab is mapped to real-world detection and response workflows, including phishing, lateral movement, identity abuse, and more. And finally, what's the outcome? Learners walk away with practical, job-ready skills. So what's published so far? We kicked off the learning series with the fundamental path, focused on helping new SOC analysts build core detection and response skills. It's built around a relatable persona Samantha, guiding learners through realistic alert investigations using a storytelling approach. The labs are fully interactive, covering alert triage, behavioral analysis, and basic incident response workflows. We have seen a strong adoption across our platform, especially among teams from SoftChoice after the recent acquisition, which is a great validation of the content. So what's coming up next in the threat detection and incident response series? We are currently building the intermediate learning path designed for analysts stepping into tier 2 SOC or IR roles, where the threats are more complex and response needs to be faster and more decisive. This wireframe diagram shows how the learner journey progresses across 6 scenario-driven modules, increasing in complexity from behavioral detection and SOAR workflows to identity-based threats and a full incident response simulation, right? The experience remains persona-based and hands-on, now align more closely with MITRE attack tactics and workflows to reflect what analysts face in the field. Architecture overview. We have designed the lab environment by drawing inspiration from proving ground labs, applying best practices in enterprise network segmentation to simulate realistic attack paths. The architecture allows us to run multi-stage attacks, simulate lateral movements, and create layered detection visibility, giving learners a true-to-life environment to work within, right? Let's work through one of the scenarios, the phishing attack flow. Using postfix on the attacker machine, we deliver a malicious payload to the victim's mailbox. Once open, the embedded macro launches a PowerShell execution attack in the background. This attack is detected in the real time and can automatically trigger a SOAR playbook, isolating the host or alerting the analyst, giving learners practical experience in how detection and response ties together. Tools used: the core detection stack includes CrowdStrike Falcon and Security Onion. Falcon provides EDR, XDR capabilities and powers our SOAR workflows, allowing automated actions like host containment and alert escalation. Security Onion, on the other hand, deployed in a dedicated DMZ, delivers NDR visibility using Suracata and Zeek to monitor mirror traffic from multiple zones and enrich detection at the network layer. So we have also integrated Sysmon for endpoint telemetry, Active Directory for simulating identity layer threats, and tools like Metasploit, Mimikatz, and PowerShell, and Atomic Red Team for adversary simulations. Setting up seamless integration between these tools in a dynamic lab environment was one of the more complex challenges, and we will touch on some lessons learned next. Lessons learned. Building this learning path came with its fair share of challenges. Here are a few key lessons we picked along the way. Getting CrowdStrike, Falcon, and Security Onion to work seamlessly in an isolated lab required careful planning, from traffic mirroring and routing to tuning detections without breaking the experience. We did not just script the payloads, we wanted investigable scenarios that mirror what a real analyst would face during phishing, credential theft, or lateral movement, right? Persona-driven storytelling, like following Samantha's journey, significantly improved engagement, but at the intermediate level, this meant adding depth without overwhelming the learner. It's powerful, but we learn to delay automated playbooks just enough to let the learners analyze first. That preserved the investigative movement before automation took over. A segmented enterprise-style lab adds realism, but it also makes snapshotting, resetting, and isolating user sessions more complex. Each module is undergoing multiple dry runs to validate detection coverage, timing, and whether the flow makes sense from a learner's perspective. There is a lot more behind each of these lessons learned, so if you are curious or want to dive deeper, feel free to reach out. I would love to connect. That's all from my side. Thank you.